you can't handle the truth. Well, actually, I think maybe you could handle the truth, but I don't know the truth, so I'm just not gonna try to tell you what. But I mean, because I don't know what the truth is, I don't know if you could handle. I don't. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Zareth Prevails. We're going to talk about 5v5 best defense teams. Wait, why does it say 5v5? What the heck? Hold on. that was madness. So we're going to talk about the best 3v3 defense teams, and it'll be good, I guess. I hope it'll be wonderful anyways. So, wow, I just keep clicking on the wrong thing here. So, we'll do this in reverse order. Guys, just a reminder, if you like this type of video, please remember to like, subscribe, and or comment to this. Help me mount the algorithm. Really appreciate it. And huge shout out to all my patrons. You guys are amazing, and I could not do this without you. Thank you all so much for all the support. Thank you. Let's jump into it, shall we, folks? Whoa, we're in it, upon it, amongst it. Okay, so on defense, this is all defensive teams. And I should remind you guys, we are going to have hopefully a little bit more approachable video of the more core teams that I use for my alternate account. Yes, that account is a little bit bigger, but we also don't have a lot of Galactic Legends on it. Therefore, I'm able to show you at least like what teams you should be trying to get without tying everything to a Galactic Legend. So keep that in mind. Keep looking out for that. That'll come out tomorrow, probably about 24 hours after this one is released. The give or take. So that being said, we have on defense, guys, the Jabba team with Chrysanthemum and Boushh. It's back, baby. There's no Kron that ignores revive now, which is really nice. Chrysanthemum Kit is going to be coming back, and this team is a lot better on defense. I don't know how much better. The other big thing is Aphra is gone, so we also don't have to worry about Aphra. Those are the biggest Jabba hunters out there. I'm very interested to see how this team does. Remember, you want more thickness if possible, guys, on this team. Relic 8 on Boushh she does so much damage, guys. She is nuts, especially in threes. Really looking forward to seeing how this team does on defense. It's going to go from one of the easiest teams to beat for a lot of people to one of the more challenging ones. People are going to be taking Kenobi off of defense, or off of defense, just to be able to kill Jabba, which I think is a win for everyone. Especially if your Jabba can still beat their Kenobi team, which they should be able to sometimes. Now, I put Rey on offense and defense for that video. Remember, I'm releasing the offense video at the same time as this one, so the link to that will be found in the video description. But Rey with Ben, those are the two best. And then we have Hondo and Cal. Like I told people in the offense video, Hondo is probably my favorite choice for Rey, just because, I mean, on defense it's hit and miss, because sometimes he'll just train Ben instead, and it's like, well, why would you train him? He's been this bad guy this whole time up until now. Why don't you train Rey? But otherwise, if you have a Relic Cal, I've heard that he does really well on defense. I don't really. It's unsubstantiated at this point. I think because we don't have a Seer, and most people aren't going to have a Relic Seer this season, then Cal, if you have him Relict, could go decently well with Rey. It makes me so afraid. Like, Cal is just so easy to kill. If he's on the squad, like, obviously Rey offers some protection, but he's just exposed and out in the open, as opposed to Hondo, who kind of just protects himself. But then, of course, if you take Hondo out of the team, then he can go with a different Jedi team, which he's very plug and play, and a lot of awesome for that team as well. So, Lord Vader, I have him on defense right now, and I think, keep in mind, folks, there's every comp of Lord Vader right now can be beat by different bounty hunter versions, except for Lord Vader with Thrawn and Maul. Those are probably the best version of it, but that loses pretty easily to like Supreme Leader Kylo with Daka Zombie or whatever, because you don't have your really thick Royal Guard keeping them all from, safe until Maul can do his thing. And so it's just gonna be rock, paper, scissors. There's also a really good datacron for Lord Vader that's going to put him on offense quite a bit. I put him on defense this time. I think I'll be putting him on defense sometimes, but remember that dot, the protection up for every dot that you cause datacron is very strong. Just keep in mind that you start getting one shot by teams with, Embo or Boba. It starts to be an issue. So you can't really lean on that on defense. It can be exploited as well. Exploited and exploded. So you guys know we call it the win printing team, and that's what this is. If you get your Qui-Gon, Anakin, and Ki-Adi-Mundi really fast, you want to be faster than your opponent's Bad Batch Echo. If you can do that, like Bad Batch Echo will destroy this team if he's faster, but remember Ki-Adi-Mundi's giving himself 80 speed total, plus 80, then Anakin and Qui-Gon are both plus 60 because of the Zeta and because of the leadership on Qui-Gon, so they're all going to be significantly faster. I think I even boosted my own Anakin's speed a little bit. Yeah, he's at 315 now. I think I gave him, gosh, it's just an expensive set to have. He has an offense arrow, which is why so it's only a plus 24 speed offense arrow. So maybe I should give him a speed arrow instead. I don't know. One way or another, I put this on the offense comp too. You just have to. He's going to be the one your get out of jail free card this season, guys. He beats Reva, he beats Jabba, he beats all the things because he's the best galactic legend, frankly. And so we'll see how this all transpires, what happens. But I do really like Kenobi with Ahsoka here. With Cat, obviously, like Kenobi is kind of Cat's lifter in a lot of ways, but then on defense, this team is just very, very difficult to shift because you have to kill one of them because of Savior, and then after you've killed that one, then you have to kill him again, and by then Cat's probably killed someone dear to you. It's just a mess. There's not really that many off-meta counters to this out there. In fact, I don't think there really is an off-meta unless you count Reva, which I think Reva would beat it pretty soundly. So General Skywalker, he's strong again because Maul doesn't just destroy him immediately. So he's good on defense. Remember, he's not a world beater though. You could keep him for offense to kill Malgus teams or something. Or remember though, also there's not the dark side crons to get their speed. Give them an extra 60% turn meter. So yeah, there's a lot of really cool stuff. Hold on a sec. All right, my work messaging was, I just put my phone on do not disturb here. All right, let's see. So yeah, General Skywalker, good on defense again. Remember, you want protection cron on him for set 8, or you can give him from set 7, you can give him armor. Don't give him crit avoid though, because that's how he dispels the debuffs that people put on him. If people aren't critting him, then he's going to stay debuffed. It becomes a mess. Now, the Luke team with Chupio, maybe we're going to end up keeping it for offense. I'm not sure, but this team is just really strong. Yes, sometimes a Trooper team will destroy it. Sometimes an Iden team will destroy it. It's this team is pretty good on defense, though, and it's going to mess your opponents up quite a bit. A lot of people are just going to use a Galactic Legend just so they don't have to have the headache of it, but if you put them on the bottom, that bottom zone, bottom front, then you're going to force your opponents to use something or take a big risk. Like, Iden is not a 100% lock against this team, and so this team, while we have the Chupio Cron for one more 3v3 season at least, is going to be pretty good on offense or defense. Now, Hondo is not as strong as he used to be, unfortunately. But I think he'll still probably be able to take out certain like Malgus teams. If you want to put him on defense, which is where I'm placing him right now, he's pretty obnoxious with IG-11 and Queel, just because you have the pre-taunt still. Yes, there's no leadership, but Queel boosts his offense by quite a bit. These two go really nicely with Hondo, and that way you have a place to you can take Bam with bounty hunters or with Han and Chewie if you need him. So Bam is such a good plug and play. He doesn't need IG and Queel. IG and Queel do really well with Hondo, and even without the cool Hondo Cron, which was pretty nice. I still think this team is going to end up being decently strong in 3v3. Now, with Iden, if you want to take her for offense, I totally get it. You probably want to take Shore Trooper out and add Death Trooper or Range Trooper like I have on this note. The thing to keep in mind here, folks, is if you put her on defense and you give her a lot of armor or something like that, like a lot of people, that's kind of a trap for if someone wants to use Wampa. I actually had someone time out on my Iden. Iden had just the shell of health. She just had like, she was in the red, and that was it. And the Wampa had killed Stormtrooper and Shore Trooper, but I had put a lot of armor on the Kron and just made it so that someone timed out last season. I only did this for 1 week, but I think that I had a few people trip up on it because it's just a very strong team, and it can be a trap for Wampa. Wampa doesn't like to have to deal with the this nonsense with the like crazy tanks. It's a pretty good team for defense, folks. Even still today. Now, you need a tank here, guys. If you're putting them on offense or on defense, you really need a tank for this Redis team. Remember, if you have a Redis team, it means you have Relic 8 on Cassian, and that is a trap. You don't want to put Cassian on this team on defense, because then your opponent can target whoever they want. They can use bounty hunters to just destroy you. They can put, they can use... my alt uses Akbar and Leia. We use Machine Gun Leia to beat this team all the time. Even though the Relic 3 and all the teams have a Relic 9 Radis, if they're Cassian, we still punch through it pretty easily. Now, Malgus with Revan and Basti, this is probably the best version of it just because it stops people from using some of the really crazy comps out there that can counter it. Like bounty hunters can beat this even in 3s, that you can use or can beat other Malgus teams. They can't with Darth Revan Basti, though. That blocks that. There's a Jedi team with Jedi Luke or Revan lead that can beat this pretty easily, and that doesn't work. Or they can beat Malgus teams pretty easily, but that doesn't work against this. Basically, if you place this, you need like Galactic Legend or maybe General Skywalker, potentially. Not really sure if that's going to work this 3v3 season. I've seen people use it, but if you have high enough relics on the team, maybe that's enough. Who knows? This is my favorite Traya comp, guys, with Savage. Yes, maybe it's a little expensive with 2 Omicrons, but it also does a lot of work. And this requires a Galactic Legend, or maybe Reva beats it, but otherwise, this is the team. You might be taking it for offense sometimes if you're facing Reva, to be honest, but in 3s, this team doesn't have an off-meta counter. There doesn't exist a team that beats this unless it's a Galactic Legend, so keep that in mind, folks. And remember, relics do matter here as well. Now, this is a version of the team that, I think probably I want Magna Guard here instead. Why don't we just change that right this second? In fact, we want Magna Guard really bad, because he's just too tanky. B2 probably works okay as well, but then we have a taunt, and this team with Sortie, you need the Sortie-Cron. This doesn't work without the Sortie-Cron from set 7, but she'll just keep reviving these guys over and over and over again with the spare parts, and you'll just ramp your Grievous up quite a bit. I don't know how this translates in 3v3. Maybe you can use bounty hunters to just destroy it and kill Sortie, but I think bounty hunters pose a certain amount of risk. If you wait too long, you have to get an initial kill, and then, well, I guess you could just snipe Sortie out initially. So I guess we'll just see, guys. This might not have as many legs as I was hoping, but I'm very curious to see how this goes. I'll be placing this on defense some, I guarantee it. And then keep in mind, guys, if you want a good Bosk team on defense, this is a pretty good one. You could swap out Dengar for Boba if you wanted to, I suppose, but if you want a little more offense, but this is a good timeout team. It's classic. You put a lot of armor on it or a lot of protection. Either one is really strong, and people, it's fast. Boss gets his taunt. You don't have to have Relic 9 on him, though that doesn't hurt, of course. This team is just very it's very resilient. It's tough to kill. Dengar's in stealth all the time. Zam is, I guess she's the one that people are probably trying to kill, but Bosk is so fast that he taunts, and then people can't, ignore taunt that well in 3v3, so they're hitting Bosk, and he's just, you know, tough to kill. And once you finally get rid of the taunt, then you try to kill Zam, it can be a mess. Like, no, it's not a world beater, but this does get consistent holds even at the top 50 level where I'm at. So this is a very strong, very strong team. Just keep in mind, you can't then use Bosk to be able to take out, you know, like Malgus comps or, you know, certain Star Killer comps even in 3s. So if you want to take this team, it has its risks. That's why I have offense builds differ. They're different. This is a good team for defense, though, if you need another team. Okay, so Fin Zori, it's the new version of Fin Poe. Very strong as well, even with or without the Datacron. So like Jedi Revan will beat this, and otherwise there aren't that many teams that beat this. Maybe Tuskens beat it now. Though I think if they get a strong enough barrage initially, they could probably just kill the Tusken chieftain and finish the fight. Even, I mean, my guess is that Tuskens aren't the hard counter a lot of people are saying. I guess we'll find out, though. I could be wrong. I'll allow that I could be wrong. Magnanimous of me, no? And then, okay, so we have Shock with Echo and Tech. I talked about this in my offense video. If you want to take the Bad Batch for offense, they're fine, they do okay. This team is actually strangely resilient and powerful, guys, especially if you have a fast Echo. Like, my Echo is really fast, and then Shock T just gives another 35, so he's at 405 starting speed. And yeah, this team, I won't say it's a world beater, but man, if people get stuck on it, I usually don't just have one hold on it. It's usually like 3 or 4 holds. So this very strong team with all the dispel with Shock and Echo, with the stun from Tech, and then all the, you know, Shock T makes, she can heal them, and she can cleanse, she can dispel things. I mean, it's just like the circular awesome thing. Very strong in 3s for some reason. Wouldn't recommend it in 5s, but it's very good in 3s. So probably if you have Tuskens, guys, I wouldn't recommend any of the Omis, because the Tusken Raider Omicron, as far as I know, is still broken. And even if it's not, I don't know if Raider is going to be, if you do have the Omicron, like, I did run into a few pretty strong Chieftain Warrior Jango teams with the Chieftain Kron, because that lets Jango, or Scion of Jango, sorry, become a Tusken for 3v3s. Kind of a nice option. I made the mistake of killing Warrior first once, and then Chieftain and Scion of Jango killed like 5 of my teams. I thought I was going to lose until I used a GL Newt team for offense, which saved me. Saved that whole match, I think. I think I even ended up winning that one. Just like that was such a tough team to beat, man. I think it was Heinz's Rate Tuskens, actually. You guys can check that out. I have a video. It came out about a month-ish ago. You guys can check it out. I don't love this Sana team on defense, guys. I really just don't. Even with the Sonicron, this just gets destroyed, demolished entirely by Wampa, by Dark Trooper, by a lot of different, Imperial troopers, as long as they're faster. Han and Chewie beat this. It's not a great team for it, but if you need a team for defense, every once in a while you get some holds on it, just because people run out of teams, and they're, this will beat like just normal weird comps. I think it still would stand a chance, for instance, against like the team I showed you on offense with Basti lead, Ezra, and Ahsoka. This might beat that. It also really might not. But anyways, this team, if you have these guys, you could throw them on defense. That's fine. I mean, there are worse things. My alt would certainly love to place this team on defense, actually. I just don't have the right characters for it. Finally, if you have the Poggle-Kron, I'm not saying you need the Omicron on him, but Poggle-Kron does some decent stuff, and Geos aren't wonderful for defense, but if you mod them right and do some okay stuff, I mean, I'm thinking maybe we just take like the Brood Alpha and Poggle and put them on a different team together, and have Poggle-Kron boost those two. Not really sure what I want to do with this, but just keep in mind, this team is going to be a lot stronger with the Poggle-Kron. I don't know how much stronger, but it's probably worth a look. You'll notice I don't even have Relic 7 on Poggle yet, though, so I can't use his Kron. Anyways, that being said, folks, what teams did I overlook? What are your favorite teams in 3v3, offense or defense? Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Xaereth prevails.